Equal signs the tool. What we mean by equal signs is that a fact is believed to be tied to an outcome. This is not an equal sign in our book. Facts and outcomes don't go together. Facts stand by themselves, all alone. A fact is a fact. I have $20 in my checking account. That is a fact. That fact does not mean there is a certain outcome. What it means is that there's a fact. The tendency you guys have is to tie facts to outcomes and put handcuffs on God. There's our handcuffs. When you tie facts to outcomes, you're putting handcuffs on God because you're saying, this is true, which is great when you know what is true. Because what did we do? What is true now? Where are you lying to yourself? We need to know facts. Facts are awesome. They get an exclamation point. What is true now? That's what you've been looking for. What is true now? What are my facts? The problem is when you tie those to outcomes. You guys do this in lots of ways. One of the main ways you do it is you say, I only have $20, therefore I can't pay the rent. Now, the big place you guys do this and where it can really help you is the rent's not due for 2 weeks. But you've already decided you can't pay the rent because the fact of $20 does not equal rent. So in the next 2 weeks, not a lot has room to change because you've already preconceived what the answer is. So when the fact of I have $20 in my bank account and the fact of rent is due in 2 weeks are in your brain, do not put equal signs between them. That's the equal sign tool. Don't put equal signs between facts and other facts and facts and outcome. Facts just live by themselves. What is true now? I just have a truth. You sit with the truth and ask, but what you're looking for is insight about your facts. You determine your truth, and then you look for insight about it. Rather than determining your truth and using your hamster wheel mind to determine the outcome, which is typically a shitty outcome, right? It's always the bad outcome that you do your equal signs about. You don't say, fact is I look glorious, therefore I'm going to have 7 lovers by the end of the weekend. You say, fact is I look glorious, and no one gives a shit, right? There's like this strange, mean, sad face outcome. Sad face outcome. Outcomes are sad face. Then what happens? This is the shitty bit. Because you have Mr. Sad Face outcome all dialed in, that's going to happen, you become afraid of your facts. And that is what screws you up the most. Because you say, I have a fact, I have an outcome. Outcome is sad face. That means facts are dangerous. Facts are frightening. That's the word, thank you. Facts are not safe. Facts are, the saber-toothed tiger thing. And what does that do? Then what is true now stops being a tool and starts being terrifying. See this icky thing you do? Yeah. So facts live on their own. A fact is an outcome of consciousness. It's awareness of your truth. Awareness of truth. And if you tie facts to Mr. Unhappy Face with bad hair, then you will become afraid of what is true. This won't work anymore. So when we say you're making equal signs, what we mean by that is that you're taking your facts and you're tying them to outcomes. And habitually, you pick the sad outcomes, and that makes facts scary. And you don't need more scary in your life. So what is true now? What are your facts? What is true now? What are your facts? My facts are, I have $20 in my checking account. My facts are, rent's due in 14 days. My facts are, I'm afraid of that. My facts are, I'm tempted to go into an outcome, a disaster scenario. I'm tempted to be in the gutter, dead in the gutter, right? I'm tempted to is your big friend here. I'm tempted to, we'll just put a big T. Instead of that fake equal sign. It interrupts that. Fact, I'm tempted to think outcome. Fact, I'm tempted to believe this is going to be how it's going to be. Fact, I'm tempted to go into unhappy face. When reality is, I can sit in fact and sit in fact, and the fact can be I'm tempted to, the fact can be I'm sad, the fact can be anything. But if you stay in fact, you stay in what is true now, insight becomes possible. When you go over here and you make an equal sign, and you're in outcome, you're in sad face with bad hair. When you stay in fact, now be careful, fact doesn't get co-opted to mean thinking. This is not hamster wheel thinking. That is. Okay? This isn't hamster wheel thinking. This is evaluation of the truth of you, boundaries, preferences, not judgments, preferences. Boundaries, preferences, truth of you. We shortened it to fact because that's a lot to write. But this is the answer to what is true now. This is the answer to the question, what is true now? But what is true now doesn't come down to information, hamster wheel thinking, connection to scary outcome, bad hair dude. What is true now becomes a fact or insight, and then you ask for further insight about that fact. Don't connect it over here with equal signs to something else. Stay with the fact that you have information that's true. It could be painful, it could be blissful, it could be something in between. The reality is you're having an experience that you know is true, and then you're tempted to connect it over here, which please don't do. Instead, come this way and grab insight, further insight about it. How do you get to insight? The best way to get to insight, of course, is to stay in the moment. This is not the moment. This is future, or past, or both. This over here is the moment. Part of why the moment's scary is the moment is part of this dynamic, right? In the past, you've tried to be in the moment, and then you've gotten this guy. And went, oh, the moment's scary, I can't. It's not safe to look at the moment, because this guy lives there. The shitty outcomes that I know are going to happen if I just let myself blink. The truth is, facts held on to insight, and then insight explored. How do you explore insight? Well, the best way to explore insight is to stay in the moment, to be aware of the truth of you. Again, go, what is true now? Fact, interesting. What is true now about that interesting? Stay in this little triangle. What is true now? Information. Receive insight about that information. Insight is also aha, remember? So, what is true now? Oh, what is true now? I have $20 in my checking book. What insight do I have about that? God damn, that really tempts me to be afraid. Well, what is true now about the temptation to be afraid? Short factual statements. All right, same thing. That's this, but said a different way. Because the point of short factual statements is to stay in the moment and see what's really going on, not what you think was going on, which, as you can probably imagine, what you normally think is going on is this guy over here. All right, that's normally where you go. So when you think, oh God, am I making an equal sign? A way to know is, am I in scary outcome, or am I in what is true now insight? So if something's going on in your life, the real strong temptation is to believe that the perceived outcome is your reality, when the truth of you is just awareness of what's going on. You are not the perceived outcome. This is make-believe. This isn't real. You are not the perceived outcome of your problems. You are not the perceived outcome of your problems. You're the person experiencing a truth and choosing whether or not to use the habit of equal signs or to access something new. So am I making equal signs? Am I making equal signs? Am I equating an experience with an outcome is usually what equal signs looks like. Am I equating an experience with an outcome? Am I equating an experience with an outcome? That's the equal sign tool. And one of the big problems with equal signs, it puts handcuffs on God, takes you out of the moment, and it puts you usually with Mr. Unhappy Face.
That's a lot of reasons not to do it. And all of this is hamster wheel thinking as well. Because this right here, all this right here, you have done this 1,000,000 times. You have done that 1,000,000 times. You've thought that thought. You've planned that outcome. And the sad thing is, and we have to say this is sad, that 1,000,000 times you've made that choice, it's always led to Mr. Sad Face. Every time. Why do you want to live in Mr. Sad Face? Why do you want to? Because you haven't known it was a choice, and you haven't caught yourself even when you've known it's a choice. So you don't want to live in Mr. Sad Face. You just don't know how to not live in Mr. Sad Face. So the way to not live in Mr. Sad Face is to say, holy crap, I'm doing equal signs. I'm doing equal signs. I'm putting handcuffs on God. I'm doing hamster wheel thinking. I'm out of the moment. 4 things that we've come up with to alert you to the fact that you're in outcome. What is true now? Leads you to information, facts, insight, whatever you want to call it. And just like stay on this side. Stay on this side. Stay on this side. Yeah, just stay over here. Stay over here. And what this requires is spiritual discipline. This is where spiritual discipline comes in. Because this over here is so habitually ingrained in you, this is the easy way out. Now, by the easy way out, we mean the pattern of suffering will be repeated. So it's not ease, it's just easy because it's habitual. The pattern of suffering will be repeated. Over here, you have to sit in discomfort. A lot of times there's some discomfort. However, the discomfort passes. The choice for consciousness is challenging. Habitual response is suffering. Challenges help you grow. You guys do challenges all the time, easy peasy. And there's another tool, Mount Everest. You'll do it anytime. You'll do something hard every single day. You don't mind. So you're used to challenges. It's just you're challenging yourself to let go of habitual suffering. And habits are strong, but they make you suffer. Habits are strong, but they make you suffer. And they don't go away. You will suffer the same way you're suffering today for the rest of your life, or you will buck up a little, face some discomfort, recognize you do hard things all the time, and stay in this rather than run around over there and your best friend is Mr. Sad Face. So when you're doing equal signs of tool, that's what's going on.